is Dana Michelle, and you are watching Dana Being Dana. Thank you all so much for joining in. We are in the homecoming edition. Yes, indeed. Thank you all so much for joining. I am a proud graduate of Spelman College, class of 2000, and we are all here in the building. My friends here from both Spelman and Morehouse College, and it is homecoming, y'all.
Yep. Happy homecoming.
Happy homecoming, everybody. Yes, indeed. Thank you all so much for joining. Stay tuned for the homecoming challenge. The homecoming challenge is coming up shortly. Before we get to that, we're going to introduce our first panel. We got two panels of Spelman and Morehouse alums here for you tonight. Before we get into who everybody is here, these are all my friends. These are all my people. These are all my folks. I'd like for you to hit your share button. There's a share button on Facebook Live. Please share this video with everybody now so that your friends and your following can share in with us, because the homecoming challenge, and everybody has now known what the homecoming challenge is going to be about, right? Tell me what you think. It's going to be a good one. And we want people to tune in. We want people to be here when we do the reveal. So please hit your little share button. It says SHARE. Share the button with following, because we want everybody to participate in this homecoming challenge. So let's introduce our first panel. Please tell us your name, your class year, and where you're from.
Timothy Fields, part of the great class of 1998, and I'm originally from Arlington, Texas.
All right.
Evans, class of 98, and we are in my old town of Broadview.
All right. Hey, Terry.
What's up?
Jason Keene, proud member of the class of 2003, originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Croft, class of 2005, from North Chicago.
North Chicago. So Jennifer and I grew up together. I've known Jennifer since before we both went to Spelman. And so for me, just having you all here, and we've got some people in the back who you're going to meet after our break, but just having you guys all here, much to me. I mean, this is the largest panel that I've ever had. And it was a phone call for me to just say, hey, yo, I'm doing this show. I want to do a homecoming challenge. And I want to your Spelman and Morehouse College experience. Every single person, it was nothing but a thing. And when I was like, do you have a school shirt? Your response was like, absolutely. Which one? So I just want to thank you all. I appreciate you all. And who do we have on the phone?
This is Chris Evans, that proud class of 1998.
Hey, Chris.
From Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Chris. And Chris is one of our sponsors. T-Shirt King has been a proud sponsor of Dana Being Dana. Thank you so much, Chris, for everything, for being my friend, my homie, and producing all the Dana Being Dana shirts. We've got a lot of love for you. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So for the panel, the first question I have for you all is, why did you choose Spelman or Morehouse School? Ladies first.
Sure,
Ladies first.
So my dad went to Morehouse, and my godparents are his line brother and his girlfriend who was at Spelman at the time. So it was really in my blood. I saw my mom did not go to Spelman, which is interesting. But I saw his network, his friendships. I saw what Spelman and Morehouse looked like on the alum side. And so I kind of grew up in that space.
What does that mean, the alumni side?
Friends, like if
real
I compare
good friends.
it to my mom went to a PWI. And
what's a PWI?
Predominantly white institution.
A predominantly white institution, which is different than it stands for what? Yes, honey. So just like you, my dad went to Morehouse, and my mom went to Fisk, though. And so what going to Morehouse and going to Spelman meant at an early age, because my cousin went to Spelman before I joined and came to Spelman. I went to homecoming as a senior in high school.
So did I.
We have so much in common.
Well, schools, your high school will tell you, go to your highest ranked school, try to get you to go to Ivy League. And so I think my dad saw that I was leaning that way, and he's like, why don't you grab your girls and you guys go to homecoming? So I went senior year, and that was that.
And that was that. That was a wrap.
Yeah.
some of you others choose Spelman or Morehouse?
So I think similar to the other comments, my brother went to Morehouse. He is a Morehouse grad. So that was my introduction to the art and understanding what that relationship was like. And for me, I think more importantly, I didn't want to be the only Black person in my class. I thought it was a transition for me to be able to come out of a high school environment where I was the only one. So Spelman allowed me to be who I was. So for me, that was really one of the biggest reasons that I chose Spelman.
Who went to PWI high schools? Even in the back, PWI high schools, yeah. Right. So the collegiate experience is something that we sought to be different than what we had in high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Danny, can I chime in for a second?
Yes, you can, Chris.
Mine was completely different. I'm a first generation HBCU student graduate. Spelman, so that's second generation, which is a beautiful thing. So I mean, I love that, but strictly a different world. Just watching what Bill Cosby put together on TV, I was like, man, that's cool. And Morehouse is the only school I applied to. I got accepted, got a letter in the mail saying come early to check it out. And he was like, oh, hell no, you ain't going. You already know you're going there. That's for people that don't know whether or not they want to go. You going, so I'm not spending this money. So it's my first time being on the HBCU campus.
You mean like A Different World, the TV show back in the day?
A Different World, the TV show produced by Bill Cosby.
And what was the school that people went to in A Different World?
They went to Hillman.
Hillman College. Is that a real school? This is for all the people out there who don't know. Is this a real school?
At the time, but I later found out it's not a real school. It was completely fictional, as far as I know.
Of what? Spelman College. Yes, indeed. So the pictures you see on A Different World episodes, and I encourage you all to watch A Different World because got a lot of my sense of college, not knowing that it was Spelman, but watching A Different World and watching the Cosby Show, and so seeing school in that environment was very impactful for me. Was going to school at Spelman and Morehouse like school days now? Spike Lee is a graduate of Morehouse. School days, and you see Drumline, which I think was also filmed down in the AUC, which is the Atlanta University Center. Was going to school there like school days or Drumline? And jigaboos?
I think there's some elements of HBCU life, especially in some of those movies. Now, it's not the actual experience, but I mean, you have the fringe elements, you have the fraternities and sororities, you have the band, you have sort of the different cliques that you would see at any school. But for school days, it was specific towards us. Mm-hmm. And so, while a lot of people use school days as a marker, I think that, you take bits and pieces, but it's not the, the actual experience. You kind of have to go to actually get the actual experience as opposed to seeing it on a movie.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would say Drumline really kind of resonated with me because it came out later, because I ran track and field and cross country in college, and so
Jesse Owens.
No, I was a distance runner. I conference championship 7 out of 8. Just had to drop that.
Humble,
yeah.
Humble pie.
All American, one of Willie Hill boys. But so you had, my experience was really my track. People I ran track and cross country with. So when people said, "Oh, I went to Daytona Beach," never went because I was running track. "Oh, we did Freaknik," never did it because we were running track. So like my experience was just that around lots of people, and then so we knew a lot of I knew a lot of athletes. So the football team knew the football team. People in the band knew the people in the band, and so yeah, you knew other people, but most of your peer group was around that group of people. And I think that was one of the things that when I saw Drumline, that I said, yeah, those. Very, very serious, and that's their clique because of how much they practice. They have to be up at 6, and we used to be up, that was, all the people. And I think today I talked to 4 or 5 people that I ran track and field with in cross country. So it's still tight to this day.
So that's one of the things about Spelman and Morehouse is that the bonds just get better with time, right? It's not just your collegiate experience. It's not just those 4, depending on where you
3 credit hours.
3. It's depending on how long it took you to get out, but it's much more than that. And I can, some of my friendships, people that I knew in school, I have become friends with, closer bond. We've graduated, which I think is fantastic. We are in the midst of homecoming week. For those of you who didn't attend Spelman or Morehouse, homecoming is a week-long event. It's not just a game. It's with the activities and culminates with your game and Friday and Saturday night activities, and then usually a church service. It's so funny. That
it's a long week.
It's a long week. So we are in Wednesday, hump day.
It's physically a week, but mentally it's a year-long process.
Oh, that's true.
Because I know people who, as soon as homecoming is over, they start planning
for the next homecoming.
The next one.
Absolutely. So, at least hydrating.
There's a great plan to homecoming the last 9 months.
Yes, indeed.
So
if you're watching and you're tuning in now, please share the video if you haven't shared it already. We're getting ready to reveal the homecoming challenge in a few. But before we get to that, I want to talk about, so what exactly happens at homecoming? I think a lot of people who are interested in Spelman and Morehouse, right? Especially if they're single and they're ready to mingle, they're looking to date, right? I want somebody who's college educated. Go to homecoming, right? Because you can get like 73 dates and just wear one outfit, right? You wear this to homecoming, you meet, it's like speed dating. It's speed dating. You meet this person and this person and this person. So what exactly happens at homecoming? The solo cups.
The red cups.
Cheers. Cheers.
Or a bottle. You wouldn't let me bring a bottle up here. I had a bottle.
People have backpacks. They come to homecoming. So
interesting for dry campuses, right?
Very interesting for dry campuses, exactly. So in your words, what happens at homecoming? That you can share.
I know, a lot of records
with your mama watching.
For me, I think we all live really, really crazy, hectic lives, whether it's being a mom or being a dad or just working or whatever life has brought your way. So for me, it's the one time a year that me and my girls get together. And for us, it's really been a kind of family-free zone with no judgment for those that do bring their families.
Kind of like girls trip.
But we make a commitment, and we actually started doing this when a classmate of ours passed away. But we make a commitment to go back every year, and we party from the time we land to the time we leave. We party, like we just and party. So for me, it's very, it's non-business. I'm usually all about what's the next move, what's the next network move, what's the next business move. For this, it's like all about just having a good time. So,
and who is that classmate
that I catch up with?
No, you're talking about the classmate that passed away.
Oh, Myron.
Yeah,
Myron Burney.
Myron Burney.
Yeah.
And this show is dedicated to Myron. Myron was a good friend of mine. We did First Fridays Atlanta together. So from up in heaven. So we just honor him. Myron was Mr. Home. Myron, please share the video because this is for him. This is dedicated to him. He was a very, very good friend of mine, and we lost him in a car accident 3 years ago. So we all got a lesson on living life.
Yes.
Through his life and his passing. So thank you for that. What's your most memorable thing? Memory.
We were talking about this. I don't know if there's one. I mean, I'll go the entire freshman year, starting from moving into the dorms. I was president of HH.
That's HH Phi Beta. Howard Harold, the largest dorm at Spelman College, the best dorm at Spelman College.
Thank you.
There's a little haterade going on from the peanut gallery. There's some discussion about what dorm is the best.
Everything, like meeting your Morehouse brother. I mean, just all of freshman year, it was so new. It was like a big party all year long. So it's hard to answer that question.
Spelman and Morehouse, and I think like many HBCUs, are very rich in tradition. We have so many traditions. There's a school song. Does anybody not know the words to the school song? We sang it 1,000,000 times, and I know people at Morehouse knew their song too. And so just is what makes our HBCUs so special and near and dear to us. Any other memorable things about school?
I would say, and as we kind of alluded to at the beginning, you know, I grew up in a predominantly white area. High school was probably 20% black. And so just coming to Atlanta, and this was when Atlanta was like really beginning to grow. The Olympics was coming. You know, I tell the story that the reason I came to Morehouse is because of Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music.
Yeah. And who is that, Tim?
When Outkast.
Outkast was on the
when
map.
Players Ball came out, I was like, in Atlanta. And then, so, I mean, I think that attracted me to Atlanta. So my memories are like being in Atlanta, like being in Mosley Park on a Sunday when we got back and just being with like the folks in like 559. So if you were in the AUC in the late 90s, you know about 559 on Thursday night. And I mean, I saw Bum B, UGK, 8-Ball. It was up the street, you could walk. I mean, so
Cinco Nuevo.
Yeah.
Spelman took the bus.
Oh, I took the shuttle. All right.
Because we had to be safe.
So I just think about all like everything that was happening in Atlanta during that time, and like that summer 1996 when the Olympics was there. If you didn't come up with any money that summer, you don't have no hustle about it.
96 gonna be that year.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to point out Tim's shirt, which I think is amazing. Homecoming.
Absolutely.
And it's got Happy Homecoming.
Happy
too.
Homecoming.
It's the years that Spelman and Morehouse were both founded, and so just happy homecoming to all of you.
True story. When I was having the shirt made, I had to call some of my friends from Spelman and say, "What year were y'all founded?" And they cussed me out. But I said, I just want to get it right. And, you know, walking around with the wrong year wouldn't have been good.
You know, Founders Day. I think everybody posts like Happy Founders Day, and I have people who are like, "You know the Founders Day of your school?" I'm like, "Yes, of course we know."
You have to know.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think even when people say you go back to your homecoming,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people don't even go back to their home, give back to their schools.
That's so true.
They don't have college friends. The connections that we have at our HBCUs run deep. What is poignant for me about not only this show, but the fact that there's so many other schools, HBCUs, that have homecoming this week. And I've been in this game for a long time, college graduate, that is. And so many, I've never, you know, if I'm wrong, but Clark, Morehouse, Spelman, Hampton, all having homecomings on the very, this is awesome. Which is why the homecoming challenge is applicable to everybody. But I think everybody goes back. Hanging out with some friends of mine who went to Hampton, and that's when I started to make the connection last weekend. And they were like, "Yeah, this is great. We're hanging out. Woo woo. Next weekend we're going to Hampton for our homecoming." I was like, "For real? Like that's when our homecoming is." And they too have similar memories and connections of their experiences, which. So before we reveal the homecoming challenge, which is coming up soon, please share this video if you haven't already. Freshman dorms. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of a huge question that people ask when it comes to Spelman and Morehouse is, where did you stay freshman year? I don't care where you're from, sorority you're in or fraternity you're in. Where did you stay freshman year? So what is so special about the freshman dorm experience?
The freshman dorm experience is very interesting. You know, like a lot of people here, I came from, you know, predominantly white high school. So it was kind of a culture shock for me living in the freshman dorm with all those brothers and however they, you know, kept their room or whatever. So I always like to tell the stories. William Jefferson White hall. My mother was horrified at the condition. So
Your mother was horrified.
Yeah, she was horrified.
Horrified.
She's like, we're gonna leave him here. So, but all in all, it was, it really provided an experience for everybody to really get to know one another. That many people in those kind of cramped quarters, you really develop some strong bonds. So, like a lot of my friends who I met were either in my dorm, on my floor, or right across the hall. So it's kind of bonds that last a lifetime.
It's true.
So it's kind of a shared experience. It's Spartan conditions, but I think that really builds a lot of tight bonds.
I was salty when I found out that HH has air conditioning now. Like, that's not even part of the experience. Like, you gotta have the moving in, sweating, going through part of the whole experience. So.
Shout out to Graves Hall, second floor.
Graves Hall. So my dad stayed in Graves Hall.
Definitely a good man.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
But no. The dorm experience. I mean, those are the guys you're up with late at night. Those are the ones you probably still keep in touch with now. I know our floor runs strong and runs deep. We'll catch up at homecoming and tailgate where we left off. So, I mean, dorm life at the HBCU is definitely everything.
That's exactly
everything.
That's exactly true. I think the people that I talk to most from freshman year, HH, Penthouse, shout out to y'all. I saw this summer in DC, so it's a good thing, and people really stay in touch.
And the tent we have every year is my freshman year roommate, Tyler Mapson. Been doing it since 1990 here for last how many years I can't add. We do it. And so, like, I just talked to him tonight. He said, we got everything together, and he's like, let's do this. And so, our person lives right next to us, Damani, Chief Beats, is going to be DJing. He lived next door to us.
Yes.
Daniel Chisholm was across the hall. So they're like 6 of us, and we knew everybody. And we get back, and there, we do it like we act like we're 18 again. So that's my homecoming experience. And then I have no care in the world.
That's awesome. All right. So without further ado, we're going to reveal the homecoming challenge. Chris, are you ready?
I'm ready for it.
Hold on one second. We're going to bring the whole panel, both panels up for the homecoming reveal. Homecoming challenge reveal. I think this is awesome. And I think this is so important, which is why, Letty, you may want to share after we reveal what the homecoming challenge is all about. But this is Dana Being Dana is a show about the human connection. These are all friends of mine. These aren't people who I had to research and find. These are people who I reached out to, or people who knew me and who I knew. And the homecoming challenge is something that's relatively easy for us. And this is just what I do. This is something that we do. And when it comes to giving back, it's the bread and butter and part of who I am. And that's why I want to have this homecoming challenge. Chris and I have been talking about shirts and all that. Chris he owns T-Shirt King, and they have been gracious sponsors of Dana Being Dana. I love you, Chris. You're my guy. Thank you so much. And appreciate that. But we've been talking about, and he's also a really good friend of Myron Beto, dedicated to. And in terms of the homecoming challenge, we've been talking back and forth about this. And so without further ado, Chris, can you start off, what the homecoming challenge is all about?
Yeah, definitely. So again, in the spirit of Myron, he stayed in Graves Hall. He was 206. In Big A, we're in 214. So he's always been like a roommate. After we graduated, we lived together for years. So, seeing him day in and day out, and him being Mr. Homecoming, the big thing he always stressed about homecoming was give until it hurts. He was very instrumental in recruiting for Morehouse. Education was his thing, but he realized early on even that HBCU alums don't give enough to the college. So First off, I strongly urge that everybody that's listening and tuned in, that you make your official donations to Spelman College, Morehouse College, Clark Atlanta, the schools you having homecoming, even the ones that aren't having homecoming this weekend, definitely give. We encourage, Tim and I have been talking about it, we strongly encourage, set up something where you're giving every month. That's important to the school. But the homecoming challenge is just about the freshman dorm. Go back to your freshman dorm, connect the generations, go back to the freshman dorm and just drop some cash on the people that stayed in the room that you stayed in. How awesome is that? Show, Morehouse and Spelman, they're not great because we went there. They were great before us. Before us did something great. Stay on that tradition, give the millennium about the work ethic or whatever. Just go back to the freshman dorm and drop some cash, a business card, connect with those individuals that stayed in the same room that you stayed in. So the challenge, to the extent you can capture it on video or pictures and actual act of doing it, give and show, that these students, hey, when I look up at this ceiling, I was dreaming about being a doctor, or I was dreaming about being an educator, or I was dreaming about being an entrepreneur, and I was in this exact same room that you're in. I posted something earlier today on Facebook. I think about homecoming. I had Dr. Payne for chemistry.
Yes.
And the tests come out, you take those first tests, homecoming week. It's by design. The brothers and sisters that are going through it right now, they just need a word of encouragement. I would have loved if somebody would have came and dropped $20, $30 on me during homecoming week.
Yes.
Preach, great
brother.
would that have been? You could have added cheese to your ramen noodles or something. You never know.
Cheese to your ramen noodles. What? But real talk, Chris, and thank you so much because originally that was Chris's idea, was to give money back to the dorm. And what people don't realize is that hunger on college campuses, people are barely paying student loans, paying tuition. After tuition and room and board, there's not enough money left over for many students to eat. So people are going hungry at college campuses, prestigious college campuses. The number of food pantries that have opened up to support college is astounding. So this homecoming challenge is real. Please share the video if you haven't already.
The refund checks that students get are nothing like the refund checks that we got when we were in school.
Which is exactly right. A lot of things aren't the same as what they were when we were in school. And so to just demonstrate by this homecoming challenge, again, go to your freshman dorm when you go to homecoming or whenever you go back to school. It doesn't have to be this weekend. Whenever you next go back to school, go to your freshman dorm. Seek out the freshman who's in your bed, in your room. Give them a donation. And I think what's also equally important is sharing with them who you are, your experience, words of encouragement, and ask them to share with you their grades. Become a mentor to those people, because you never know who something that seems to be so or quick to you can be life-changing for younger people who are following in your footsteps. And so I bought a card for the two girls in my room. You're in HH. I called some of my friends from school who were on the penthouse floor. They don't remember what room numbers were. And I know Abby's been renovated. So just guesstimate. It's okay. Just pick a chick. It's cool. So this is what I wrote. This is what I wrote to the Spelman sisters who are in my bed right now. Dear Spelman sister, 21 years ago, you did the math, I was in this bed, an excited first year with my whole life ahead of me. Spelman is a very special place that you will not fully appreciate until much later. But I give you this advice. Study hard. Here's $20 to treat yourself. Please stay in touch. I've attached my business card. About you, and I want to start with your first year semester grades. In school, sisterly, Dana from Dana Being Dana. So what I want is I want this to be shared with everybody. People like, she's just peddling her show. No, I want people to share this video because I want to share this message. Yeah. I think the message of giving back, I believe in to whom much is giving, much is required. And I want everybody to share this video. I want people to go back and invest in your freshman dorm. It's not just about, kicking it at homecoming and turning, hey girl, you so cute, you so good, turning up, how you doing? No, it's more about making an impact on the people who are coming behind us. That's what I want to happen. That's the movement that I want to inspire. So please share the video. We're going to take a quick break. Thank you so much, Chris. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the second half of our panel and the second half of our show. This is Dana Being Dana on IntellectualRadio.com, an iHeart radio station. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Dana.
Thank you all for tuning in to Dana Being Dana. Once again, I'm your host, Dana Michelle, and we are here for the homecoming edition. Once again, I'm here with some of my friends from college. Thank you all so much for being here. Homecoming cometh. It is homecoming, y'all. Happy homecoming. Please share the video if you haven't already. We've revealed the homecoming challenge. Everybody's really excited about it. Any reactions to the homecoming challenge? Please introduce yourself and state your name, your year, and where you're from.
Quincy Payton. I am from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a native, and I am class of 1999.
I'm Kimberly Cook. I grew up in the Republic of Panama, and I'm class of 2001, and I think the homecoming challenge is fantastic.
I am from Newport News, Virginia, and I am a member of the class of 2000 who happened to walk in the class of 2000.
It don't matter when you walk. It's just when you were supposed to walk.
The scenic route.
Yeah, the scenic route.
Hey everybody, I'm Shantae Thomas from Eastman, Georgia, class of 2000.
All right. So let's talk about the difference. We've defined acronyms, right? So we've got HBCUs and PWIs. What's the difference, and what makes Spelman and Morehouse so great, in your opinion?
Well, I can answer. I actually went to both. I have a master's and a PhD from PWIs. My bachelor's is from Morehouse. And I'll be succinct in my answer. When I was at Morehouse, because I love this question, I can honestly say I never had a bad day.
Yes.
I cannot recall one bad day in those 4 years. Now, I was getting my master's and my doctorate. I had plenty of bad days. But I can honestly say, especially to any parents who are listening, anyone who is thinking about sending their child to an HBCU, Imagine 4 years from now, starting from today, never having a bad day. 4 years. And that is the best way I can answer that question.
That's a good answer. I think for me, really, foundation where you are in an environment where everybody, for the most part, they look like you, right? So it's not about your gender. It's not about your skin color. And for the first time coming into an environment where I wasn't the only brown girl in the room, I might be the only girl in the room, it really was about and so I believe my best self in those 4 years. It taught me a lot about who I am, but it taught me ways to set myself apart and not relying on the only, person here. And so that led to a foundation in my later life where it became, I'm not intimidated environment because it was, look, this is 4 years of stripping away at everything and bringing your A game all the time. Now, while it's great that he didn't have a bad day, I had some bad days, but not because Spellman's fantastic, but because Spellman was very competitive, but in a good way, and it challenged me. And to this day, I say even my work doesn't touch the competition, but good competition that I felt, at school. There's nothing like an 8 a.m. with, 25 other, Black women whose hair is laid at 8 a.m.
Who are those girls?
To bring their
What dorm was that?
That was Abby Sci-Fi all the way.
But to piggyback off of that, I'll say this. The expectation that you were going to be great, right? Because nobody else was going to be great in your place. So there was when I got to campus, the president of the SGA was a Black dude. The editor of the newspaper was a Black dude. Yeah. The captain of the football team was a Black. Everybody was Black who was doing anything. Yeah. And so the expectation was nobody else is going to step in here and do these jobs. When I was a senior, $200,000, they said, put on homecoming. They said, just do it.
Just do it.
Like they trusted me. They
just make it happen.
And I wouldn't have gotten that kind of just experience and level of trust. And again, the expectation of greatness and the expectation that you were going to, you go into like the valedictorian, this Black dude, right? Except for that 1 year. But even then, hey, he had the same shot coming in everybody else did.
Yeah.
He was from Kansas City too. Shout out to KC.
I agree with what everyone said. I figure back off that, and I think that just what Kim said about the foundation of even now, like when the foundation of expectation that you can be great and you are expected to actually be great, and even now because of waking up and you said going to classes and with all Black women who are fantastic, I'll look around now like, oh, I'm the only Black person here, and it doesn't even you just realize it like, okay. Well, all right. Well, let's continue. But I do think it equips you with a fundamental level of confidence that you can't, as Black people in America, that you really need to go have every day to go forth and have a good day. I think,
especially now, right? We are in a time, in a place where race is such a pertinent piece of the equation. Have you heard that you could tell a difference between those who went to PWIs, which again are predominantly white institutions, and HBCUs? For me, and I'm an attorney in the daytime, people tell me all the time, there's an air of confidence about you, there's an air of assurance about you. See from other people of color. And have you ever had that experience or had anybody tell you there's a difference between people who went to HBCUs, a certain level of confidence, meaning that the opportunity to be in an HBCU for 4 years, where you mostly see people who just look like you, versus being at a PWI?
I think it has.
Talking to the mic.
I'm sorry. I think that there's a duality, right? There's the confidence side of things, right? Where yeah, I can do this, right? But I think the other thing about it is you have a network behind you. You have all these people who have your back. You know.
Yes.
When you go to an HBCU, you know you could get. Some people think that you might get coddled. Really, it's in the butt sometimes that helps you, you know, particularly from somebody who looks like you, somebody who understands your struggle or understands where you're coming from. That helps get you kind of over the hump, right? When you have professors who they're hard on you, but then you know that they know your story.
They love you.
They love you, right? You know, I remember skipping class one day and standing out in front of the Wheeler Hall smoking a cigarette after I had skipped class. You know, and yes. Dr. Abe Davis came downstairs and was like, "Where were you today?" Like, son, we had class at 11 o'clock this morning. You weren't there. It's now 2 o'clock.
What are you doing?
Smoking a cigarette. What were you doing? And that translates again that those role models become those role models.
It's true.
And so when you go to work, when you are in those professional environments, you take that on. Like when I'm at work, I say as a manager, my job is to be a manager and a mentor. I get that because I was mentored when I was at Morehouse. I had people who cared about me when I was at Morehouse.
Right. True. And as a mentor, right, the homecoming mentoring others. It's about going into your freshman dorms, not only giving a monetary donation, but also extending yourself as a mentor, as somebody who's been where they've been in the exact same shoes, room, place where the person is that you're visiting. So more details about the Homecoming Challenge, please share if you haven't already for homecoming, which I think is going to be awesome. It can be done at any school, anytime, any place.
Just want to, you said, you know, giving back to and going back to your freshman dorm, which is, again, this homecoming challenge. This is fantastic. But I have to agree with Jennifer back there. You know, I'm a little bothered by this air conditioning at Abbey.
The air conditioning at Abbey?
Listen, you know, I gotta say, you know, there's something about, you know, August in Atlanta.
Hey.
And, you know,
who didn't have air conditioning? Who didn't have air conditioning freshman year?
Man, there's
my dorm room and my parents, I love you, Dad, and my mother. I had the biggest fan.
Oh no, we had a big like sit in the window fan, but I just feel like that's a part of that experience.
It is part of the experience.
And my roommate, she was not handling that heat well. I came from Panama, so I was like, this is nothing. Right. She was dying. Then it hit like, I don't know, 50 degrees in Atlanta, and I was freezing, and she was like, this is springtime.
Yeah. Good to go.
I actually take a different view. I think the AC and all the other improvements, not just on campus, but surrounding the West End neighborhood where Morehouse and the AUC is encompassed, is a byproduct of improvements in inner city Atlanta and in the AUC that really goes for the betterment of our students. There's a new stadium. There's not a new stadium, but a new arena. There are new dorms. When I got there, Morehouse was bare bones. We did not have a lot, but we did have each other. And to answer the previous question very, very quickly, there's a distinction that I make with when I wear a Morehouse t-shirt and I go to the mall, walks up to me and says, "You went to Morehouse? You know, I don't know you, but would you mind talking to my son?"
Yeah.
That I live for.
Right.
And I wear that t-shirt every time I put it on than the time previous. Who don't know me and don't know I went to Morehouse, when they find out that I did, there is a calibration of, oh, now I understand.
Yes.
And that is priceless.
That's true. That's very true. And along those same lines, in that same vein, right? I have a couple of quotes for you all that I want you guys to opine on. I want to join in. If y'all want to jump in from the peanut gallery, you're welcome to. But tell me what this means to you in preparing for this show. House man or a Spelman woman but you can't tell him or her much. What does that mean? And someone and I hear this all the time, Spelman women are a lot to handle, right? What? Morehouse men have a lot going on. What does that mean?
Corey Richardson.
I mean, first off, I disagree with that statement.
What?
No, I do, because I disagree with the whole can't tell a Morehouse man much, da. You just got to know how to tell a Morehouse man something.
By a Spelman woman?
No.
You gotta have some sense.
Like I have a network of Morehouse men that I will communicate with, talk to, speak with, whatever. And my wife knows if she wants to get an idea to me, she got to get it to them. You can tell a Morehouse man, you just got to tell it through another Morehouse man. That's it. It's not hard. You just got to find another Morehouse guy.
I'm here. I mean, it ain't good. I mean, a lot of times we just well traveled. We know a lot of people. We have a strong network that we can call to get answers. So, I mean, we know how to get answers. It's that resourcefulness, ECU campus, we'll figure it out. You don't have to tell us. We'll figure it out. We probably already know it. But we got a right-hand man that can get us the necessary information. So it's just the resourcefulness.
I think there is a resourcefulness, and I think it's about people underestimate as an adult how important your network is. Being able to have somebody at your fingertips who can get something done, who can get an answer for you, who can get it in, who can make something happen. That resource is invaluable. And I think by being a Spelman grad, year, just having people in my circle, I'm so proud of my class. And Sean and Corey are members of my class, and just what our friends are doing now, where they're at, how they've lived their lives, the choices they've made, and how things have turned out for them. It's amazing. It's awesome. And I'm just so blessed. And it's not just our year. My cousin Rocky, love you. Just having access and being part of relationships and friendships of classes that are older than me. That's how I got connected to the class of 98, is because my cousin went to school before me at Spelman, and just having all those connections. It's been awesome. And I'm just so proud of all of the things that people at Spelman and Morehouse are doing.
And 98's just a good damn class.
98.
It's 98. I mean, just to piggyback on that though, Dana. When you scroll through your social media timeline, or you're trying to catch up with friends who's coming to homecoming, one of my close friends, he has a meeting in D.C. to talk about the new Trump sign, because that's where he is in his career in healthcare. You got other friends that are opening businesses, making hundreds of thousands of dollars to the college. But it's just amazing to see that transition from, we party, we go hard at homecoming, Monday morning, for some of us Tuesday morning, making major moves.
Tuesday. It is.
I think one of the most recent examples of that is the new mayor of Birmingham.
Yes.
How all of the Morehouse brothers.
Shout out to 2003.
Yeah.
Yes, 2003, the mayor of Birmingham.
Yeah. So that kind of piggybacks off of the network, and how amazing the brotherhood or sisterhood in our case is, that all of his brothers from all classes came to support him.
Yeah.
And made national news, essentially. Basically.
Absolutely.
So I think that goes to how amazing the experience is.
Yep.
Have your there with you when you are, find that you just won, you'll be the mayor for the next 4 years of your hometown.
Yep. So thank you all for coming out. I really appreciate this. I want to reiterate the Homecoming Challenge once again. As Chris and I have said, it's about going back to your freshman dorm. It's about visiting your room, talking to the person who is in your room, or the people who are in your room, giving them a donation, and sharing with them what Spelman or Morehouse means to you, or any school that you're at. Thank you to our sponsors, T-Shirt King, which is Chris Evans. You can reach him at www.kingpromo.com. Chris, is that how they reach you?
That's correct. Yeah.
That's exactly right. So thank you so much. And Scene Chicago, our other sponsor, thank you so much for sponsoring us tonight. Thank you to all my guests. Thank you to all my friends. Spellhouse Homecoming. I will see you all in the A. It is going down. We are toasting.
I will be in Hampton this
We
weekend.
are
Hampton's
toasting.
homecoming. I will be
Thank you all
front and
so
hard.
much. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. Yes, indeed. Happy homecoming, everybody. This is, yes, indeed. We are all landing in Atlanta. This is Dana being Dana. Please share the video. We want everybody to be inspired. We want everybody to give back. Next week on Dana being Dana, we are talking about dating. Dating. You cannot, you can't meet anybody on your couch, so get out there. And I promise you, if you believe in dating, come to homecoming. Yes.
You better know that.
73 dates, one outfit. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Dana being Dana. I'm Dana Michelle.